Welcome to Ancestry Academy. I'm Laura Prescott. In this course, we're going to delve into the records of the Reconstruction Era, a very important part of American history after the Civil War. And check this out. Our speaker, Michael Strauss, is here today in his Civil War uniform. What's this all about, Michael?
Well, it's something I thought I'd try a little different than your other speakers that you've had on set.
Definitely.
I love the Civil War, don't get me wrong. But, you know, the Reconstruction period, which we're going to talk about, is just as equally important. But the reason I'm wearing the uniform, it's pretty simple, is I'm excited about the war because the war played a huge effect into the upcoming records that we're going to see during the Reconstruction period. And really, they dovetail nicely into one another. And I, as you obviously can imagine, I do a lot of reenacting. I would like to talk a little bit about the uniform, though.
Definitely. Please tell us about it.
Well, the uniform I'm wearing is a typical uniform that would have been worn by the Federal Army during the American Civil War. What I'm wearing is three essential pieces here that you're seeing here. I am wearing sky blue trousers, which would have been common in the Union Army during this time. I'm wearing a sack coat, which was typically a 4-button coat. Now, you'll notice here, if you look under my beard here, you'll notice that you can see every button is buttoned to the tippy top. Because this was common during this time, and this was very proper for the men to wear their uniforms like this. And of course, you see on my hat that I do have some insignia on my hat. So I'd just like to remove this hat here and show you that there are letters, designations on the hat. My hat has what appears to be cross cannons on the hat. I belong to 2 Civil War units. I belong to the 99th New York Infantry, and I also belong to Battery A of the 5th U.S. Artillery. So what you have here are cross cannons pictured. And the 5 is synonymous with the 5th U.S. Artillery, and the A is synonymous with the battery that I belong to. So it's A Battery, 5th Artillery.
Neat.
Yeah, so this is really all a part of the facade that I wear when I go out into the field and reenacted battles.
And you're a private, so you don't have epaulets or any other...
No shoulder boards, no insignia on my shoulder. I'm just a down and dirty soldier.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well,
and I can show you the dirt on my sleeves if you'd like.
Because you're a reenactor, so you really do get into the war, just except for the casualties.
I actually get into the dirt.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, well, we're here to talk about Reconstruction, and what kinds of records will you be talking about that will help us understand that?
Well, the first set of records I'm going to talk about are the draft records, because I kind of like to do these chronologically.
Oh, going back.
Yeah. You know, I want to kind of put a firm foundation into the records. So before really getting into the Reconstruction era records, we talk about the draft records because they really affected the people of the time that lived during the Reconstruction so much. And those will be the first set of records we talk about. After which, we'll talk about a number of different records that were really more specifically geared towards the Reconstruction period. And those would be like the amnesty records, the Confederate amnesty records. And we'll learn all about the proclamations that were a part of that. And we'll talk about the Southern Claims Commission, the Freedmen's Bureau records.
Favorites.
Oh, I love those Southern Claims Commission. The Freedmen's Bureau records for the newly enfranchised African Americans who were freed as a result of the war. Oh. And I'm even going to talk about a set of records that most people don't even think about. United States bankruptcy records. Unrelated totally to military records.
I mean,
yeah, but live and well during the Reconstruction period is we're going to find one of the acts that covered bankruptcy was during that specific time period.
It sounds like you've got a lot of records to cover, Michael. Are you going to be doing your course in this?
No, I'm going to be planning on changing my uniform.
It gets hot.
It's a very hot uniform.
Oh, and they fought in this too, right?
They did.
Oh, I can't even imagine summer days. Well, thank you for coming in. Let's get to it, and let's learn something more about our ancestors in the Reconstruction era.